Well, a couple things. One, I think you're going to see a show of force, and I think that's what the Conservatives want to do because they have been knocked a little off their game. They have been struggling to, accommodate this new landscape. Carney looks like he's going to be the next prime minister. Trudeau is in the rear-view mirror. Carbon tax doesn't quite have the punch that it seemed to have before, as Trump and his tariffs overwhelm all public discussion and all of our politics. And so, I think one of the really interesting things is that you're seeing the Conservatives conclude that they can't concede this patriotic real estate to the Liberal Party. On Flag Day, they can't permit it to just be a symbol of Lester B. Pearson and a string of Liberal prime ministers. And they're going to play for some percentage of that. So I think it's going to be a show of strength. Thousands in the Rogers Centre in Ottawa, all screaming, yay, yay, go Pierre, but also expressions of patriotism, Canada first, let's fight for Canada. You can see where they're trying to focus themselves and position themselves as the strong response to Trump's strong threat.
And is that a shift for him, and is it being heard, do you think, what the direction he's heading with this when it comes to Trump? Because, I mean, he's on the right, Trump's on the right, it's got to be a difficult balance.
Well, I really think what's interesting is this is such a complicated blend they're trying to put together. So Canada First itself feels like a lift from Trump, with his America First and all that is steeped in historically, some of which is very dark and ugly. But it's that sort of angry populist response to Trump's angry populism, to the point where they're almost aping a slogan. But it also is about trying to put Canada first. So they're trying to, wrap themselves in the flag. So it's a very interesting kind of concoction. They're literally moving away from axe attacks and all the slogans that have taken them to such a huge lead in the polls, recognizing that the ground has shifted and they must shift with it. But now their response to Trump is in some ways to borrow a page out of Trump's book. So we'll see how that plays with Canadians.
And now a possible election. Is there the chance the Liberals could try and pull the trigger early on this, depending on how the numbers look and the way they're going?
Well, there's all kind of buzz around that. My strong counsel to everybody who's watching politics and wondering what's going to happen next is to chill out, because you get a couple of polls. Oh my God, if Carney was elected and the moon was on the rise and the House of Aquarius is in ascendance, then maybe possibly the Liberals would win. Look, clearly the issue set has shifted toward Trump and tariffs and fighting for Canada. Clearly, Carney is going to win, and he is he's getting a test. He's getting a look at from Canadians. But whether that big lead for the Conservatives has completely evaporated, whether people should just assume that Carney's now in the driver's seat and the Liberals are in the midst of a massive resurrection, I would calm people's expectations. The Conservatives are going to throw millions of dollars of negative advertising at Mark Carney. Carney's going to have decisions to make about when he becomes prime minister, if he wishes to pull the plug and go to the electorate. Does he want to try to strike a deal to preserve Parliament, give himself time as prime minister, show Canadians what he's capable of as the country's leader? There's a lot of what ifs, and a lot of things change on an almost daily basis, especially with the Orange Menace to the south.
All right, so it's good for business for us, though, right? Scott, thank you as always.
Lots to talk about.
Scott Reid is our CTV News political commentator.